Good afternoon. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Mary Ann Casson, and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Ms. Klein to my left, Mr. Bartolo to my right, and Mr. Marziari to the right, and then online we have Ms. Sankar. And our Deputy Secretary Treasurer today is Simon Len. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on today is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. For those participating virtually, when your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons, and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the committee. Today, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is contested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation. When an application is uncontested, the committee may not require a presentation. The committee may ask questions or take the matter into committee for a decision. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept new materials at the hearing. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee. Then individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5-minute mark. When all speakers are finished, the applicant agent has an opportunity to rebut those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion, and the application will then be taken into committee for a decision. All right, before we begin, any conflicts this afternoon? I have a conflict with item 12, I believe. 3 Mason Boulevard, as in that it's located within my neighborhood and I'm a member of the resident association in that area. So I will be absent for that item. And Mr. Secretary Treasurer, do we have any other items to reconcile before we begin?
Just deferrals, Madam Chair.
Deferrals, correct. Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Tell me if you're ready for those. I can list
I'm
those.
ready. Yep.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So that's the only conflict in the afternoon, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. We have been notified that there are 2 items that the agent owner has requested deferral. The first item is item number 11, 75 Winston, and the second item is number 15, Betty Ann Drive.
Okay.
So why don't we start with number
Are there
11?
Are there people here on either of those items? Okay, is this the Betty Ann crowd? Okay. I apologize that I can't really see you very well from behind here. I can't adjust my chair or the monitor, so I'm kind of stuck here. Anyway, all right, should we deal with the Betty Ann one first then, just because? Okay, let's do that since we have a number of people here. Let's have the applicant first. Are they online? Yeah. Okay, Betty Ann Drive is an application to construct a three-story fourplex with front yard parking and a garden suite. There are variances for east and west side yard setback, location of parking spaces, height of a building, height of side exterior main walls, front yard landscaping, front yard soft landscaping, and the garden suite has a variance for lot coverage. So, do we have our applicant? Mr. Kim?
Through you, Madam Chair, I don't have the applicant online. If you give us a few minutes.
Oh, maybe
we
he
will
thinks he's
talk
going to
to
be considered later, or we could do the other one. Sure. All right. Let's go back to 11. No, that was 15. We were going to do that one because we have all these residents here, but it shouldn't take too long. All right, so 75 is it Winston or Whiston? Oh, yeah, it's Winston. It's spelled wrong on the agenda. This is an application. Let's see here.
To you, Madam Chair, unfortunately, I don't have that person online either.
Oh, great. Well,
But for Betty Ann,
Betty
Mr.
Ann, we
Rocking
have-
will join us in a few minutes.
and we do have a letter requesting a deferral or an email. Is that correct?
Sorry, I just want a clarification from staff. You said the agent will join us in a few minutes? Okay, why don't, we can deal with an item, it's up to you, but I think for the benefit of the neighbors, they should hear the reasons why it's being deferred, so we definitely should get the agent online. So I'll leave it in your hands, Madam Chair, if you want to go to item 10
Sure, let's
and hear that first, while we let everybody try to log in.
do that. Let's go to item 10. Try to deal with that, and then hopefully we'll have the Betty Ann applicant on after that. All right, we have 52 Belcourt Road. It's an application for a new detached dwelling with an integral garage. Variances are for parking, entrance to a building, building depth, floor space index, north side yard setback to the front porch, canopy encroachment into the side lot line. And on file, we have minutes from January 8th, 2026, plans from February 24th, 26, urban forestry memo, and a petition of objection from a number of residents and the previous agenda package. So we have our applicant here with us today. Welcome. I don't think, yeah.
Hello, good afternoon, Madam Chair, member of the committee. My name is Mehran Haydari from PMP Design Group. I'm the designer and agent of the client. So as you mentioned, we had the deferred application. So we had the objection from the neighbors and we worked with them and revised the drawing. And right now we eliminated two variants, actually three variants. Two of them was the height and the second floor balcony. And the third one was error on the zoning notice that is fixed. And right now we have the application in front of you that if there is any required presentation, I explain. But everything is on the application. I'm more than happy to answer any question.
And, sorry, is it the same plans from before, or have there been changes made?
We changed the side setback, we changed the second floor balcony, we removed the balcony, we changed the height of the building,
Okay,
so to comply with the bylaw. So we have three less variances.
okay, thank you. That's
You're
good.
welcome.
Do we want a presentation? Anyone? Oh, we have some neighbors, correct? Are they here, or are they
Online.
online? All right, I guess we will need a brief presentation.
Okay, so variance number one, we are dealing with the transportation that they have no objection about having the garage in the front of the lot. So variance number two is we're dealing with the length of the building is 17 meter. We are the depth of the building. We have the 18.01. We have the plenty of application is approved, and I have the list of them here. And also variance number three is about the GFA that we are requesting 0.89 versus 0.6. And again, there is lots of application in this area, and I got a couple of them here as well, the same number. variance number 4 dealing with the side setback for the canopy, and number 5 and 4 is depends on the canopy and the porch. The main building will comply with the side setback. Because we don't have the window, the setback 0.41 is enough for the setback. But the porch and the canopy that is connected to the building is technically has a variance. It's not the variance for the exceeding anything. It's just a bylaw. I believe the explanation is not addressed clearly this matter. When the building has the setback variance exempt, so we're supposed to have the same on the porch and canopy that we don't have it.
All right.
So if there is any question, I'm more than happy to answer.
Okay, questions? Anyone? Mr. Marziari?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And through you, just a quick question in regard with variance number 1.
Yeah.
Is there any precedent in the immediate context with integrated garage?
Yes, we had, I myself, I got 338 bell size. It was my application. I got the approval a long time ago. Yes. This is some common in the area. Yes.
I know it's happening in Leaside, but it's not very common because it's all like with parking pads at the front. I'm familiar with the neighborhood, but just want to know if there's any in the immediate neighbor.
Yeah, I didn't know because transportation had no concern and the neighbors had no concern about this one as well. So I got the research on the area, but I didn't represent for here because I didn't
That's
know
fine,
that.
as long
yeah.
as you tell me there's
Yeah.
one or I know the transportation is supportive, so
Thank you.
I just want to clarify. Thanks.
All right, any other questions? No? All right, let's hear from the residents.
Through Madam Chair, Nick Minchenko is unmuted.
Yep, I think for the first item, 900, 2 and 10, right? So we believe that the current bylaws should be upheld.
Sorry, can we start
As-
with
as
your name and address, please?
Oh, sure. My name is Nick Minchenko, and I'm 27 Belcourt Road.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sir, just start over.
Okay, so the first one is 900 210. We believe that the current bylaws should be upheld, right? So because it says that the vehicle entrance through the front door wall of a residential building other than the ancillary building is not permitted, right? But the proposed parking entrance is to the front main wall, sorry.
Okay,
Okay, so that's the first one. So not every of our concern was taken into account by the builder, right? So the first one. Then the second one is hold on for a second. Okay. Sorry about that. It's the last one, which is 10, 5, 40, 60. Right, 10, 5, 40, 60. That the setback of the porch setback, we believe that the setback for the porch should be considered consistent with the bylaws at 0.9 meters and no variance granted.
all right.
Mhm.
Is that it?
Give me 1 second. I think this is it on my end. Right, so just give me 1 second. I think this is it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's hear, does anyone have any questions? No? Let's hear from the other neighbor.
Jasmine Jenkins is unmuted.
Yes, I'm in agreement with Nikita. So we've discussed that I'm in agreement with what he referred to.
Sorry, and just for the record, can you state your name and address?
Sorry, I'm Jasmine Jenkins. I'm at 41 Belcourt Road.
Okay. All right, so you're in agreement with,
Nikita, yes, Nick.
okay, got it. There are other properties in the neighborhood that have been developed with the integral garage as part of the new design, new house design, I guess. Like, you're aware there are other buildings in the area?
Yes, I have seen them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see 51.
Mm-hmm.
51.
Yeah, there's one across the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's not very common in Leaside,
No, no, it's not.
but it's happening there.
It is, yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's bring the applicant back and to address those concerns that they raised, mainly variants 1 and 5, I believe.
Yeah, as I mentioned, and also Kari mentioned, cross street number 51, Belcourt has the integral, the garage from the front, and also the house side by side. We have the garage and the face of the building as well. So, and this is, the technical matter, I believe, because when we have the access possibility to no tree on the front and the transportation allowance, so it's have a better convenient to have the garage and having the space inside of the building instead of having in the side of the street or on the driveway. I believe this is the in favor of the development and also a neighborhood and as I mentioned, 338 Bell size, it's 50 meters from this property at the corner of the first intersection. I got approval from the Committee of Adjustment. And also variance number 5, as I mentioned, this is the technical variance because the entrance is at the side of the house. We have the 25-foot lot. One side is the porch that we have access. The other side is the shared driveway with the neighbor that we have the more setback. Technically, we have the entrance from the side of the house. We cannot have the porch in the middle of the house because the entrance in the side is the 0.41 meter setback. So technically, when we have the building over there, the porch attached to is going to the automatic side yard setback variance and the canopy at the top. So the 4 and 5 is related to each other because it's porch and canopy. So we can compromise the canopy if there is a concern of the neighbors, but it's not affecting and there is no negative impact of the development.
Okay, any questions? No? All right, thank you. We'll take it into committee. Okay, any comments? Mr. Marzio?
I can start it off. Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a bit of concern with variance number 1, but when I took a look at the street view, there are other houses with integral garage, and I think since it's not pushing the floors, the height beyond the bylaw, I don't have any major problem with that, and the other variances are reasonable, so I think overall it's a supportable application, and it's been improved from the previous application.
Yes.
Good changes.
Okay,
So overall, I'm very positive.
agree. Okay. All right, Mr. Bartolo, did you want to make some comment?
I would just echo Mr. Marzari's comments. Same on the height. And while it may not be the typical condition within the neighborhood for variance number 1, it is a condition that exists within the neighborhood. And on balance, it does give the opportunity to not have the visual of the car in the driveway and the pad with that space as well. So I think on balance, it's a supportable and reasonable application.
All right, thank you. Would someone like to make a motion?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
So I forward a motion to approve this application subject to urban forestry condition number 3. Yeah.
Okay, seconder? Mr. Bartolo? All in favor? That is unanimous. The application's been approved.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. All right, do we now have our applicant for Betty Ann?
Yes, we do.
Okay, then let's go to number 15. 142 Betty Ann Drive. I'm not going to read it again. It's a 3-story fourplex with front yard parking and a garden suite. And there's been a request for deferral, so let's have the applicant on to address the deferral request. The reason for the deferral.
Hello.
Hi. Let's
Hi,
start with
this
your
is Rock,
name and
Rakim.
address.
Uh, 386 Young Street.
386?
Yeah, 386 Young Street, 1402.
Okay. And sorry, your name, I think I talked over you when you were saying your name.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, just, could you state your name again?
My name is Rakim.
Okay, thank you.
The address is 386 Young Street, unit number 1402.
Okay. And the reason, your request for deferral today, what is the reason for it?
The planner want us to make the driveway was not okay for that, so we are trying to make the indoor parking and then reduce the size of the house. There was a height issue too, so we didn't have enough time.
So, and you have seen, let's see with this one. We have a staff report on this, right? Like a late one? Yeah, okay. Have you read the planning staff report?
Yeah. I was talking to the planner. Yeah.
And you know we have, I'm not sure how many, but a good number, thank you, 20 people in the audience today who are, I believe, in opposition to it.
I'm sorry. Can you say it again? I'm sorry, my phone is really.
Okay, so the planning staff report recommends refusal of the application, and we have approximately 20 people here in attendance, residents, neighbors, who are in opposition of the application. So are you also proposing to meet with community planning staff and the neighbors to try to resolve their issues?
Yeah, we are trying to talk to the neighbor as well, of course, after the revision.
So that's part of the reason
We
for
already
your deferral?
meet with one neighbor, right, adjacent neighbor. We already talked to them, yeah. We're
Okay,
gonna
but
defer
there
it.
are quite a few people in the audience here today. So, all right, we have your reason, and we'll just hear from the neighbors. Actually, does anyone have an objection to the deferral request today? All right, if you'd like to maybe come forward first, ma'am? Do you want to? That's okay. You can come forward. Just start with your name and address. So really, the applicant has requested a deferral, which would mean that the application would be not considered today, and that they take the time to review with planning staff and hopefully the neighbors to resolve concerns, and then it will come back to a later meeting. So the only thing I'm asking you today is if you have a concern with the deferral, not the actual application. Okay. Oh, your mic's not on. Maybe.
Okay, Catherine Martins, Betty Ann Drive. I do object to the deferral. Out of respect for the numerous neighbors that have come here today, I have booked off time work. I've arranged babysitting for my 4 children. I know everyone here have made the same accommodations. It's disrespectful. And we're here to discuss it. I think we're owed the time and consideration to discuss it.
All right, thank you. Does anyone else want to come forward? Sorry, come down. No, it won't go any higher. I feel like I'm in a hole. Welcome. No.
Now?
Yep, that's better.
Okay, great. My name is Dan Miller. I live at 144 Betty Ann Drive, the property immediately west of the subject property. You can see how many people have come here today. The developer behind this project, he never contacted me. Either I'm at home or my wife is at home. I just saw him for the first time this morning, and I spoke to him briefly when he indicated to me that his intention was to postpone the hearing today. He's had plenty of time to speak to me and to all the other neighbors here, and now suddenly, when he realizes that the staff report recommends refusal, when the Urban Forestry Report Memorandum of April 23rd recommends refusal. Now suddenly, he's decided to speak to all the neighbors. Well, I believe it's too late. I had to take time off work today. Many of the other people here have had to take time off, and I think this is just a delaying tactic, and the committee should go proceed with the hearing today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Does anyone else wish to come forward? Okay.
Robert Emon, 140 Betty Ann. I'm immediately to the east of the proposed property. As Dan stated, I'm in agreement. I think this is a deferral on his part, hoping that neighbors will not regroup as we have so far today with 20-odd people in attendance. I believe his hope is that we will not come back the second time when he tries to represent. So I believe we should all have an opportunity to air and present our presentations as we had submitted earlier, our slides and whatnot, so you have a firm understanding of what the neighborhood is concerned with. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir, come on down.
Hi, my name is Dennis Wu. I am the owner behind the subject property at 201 Ellerslie Avenue. I am in objection of the deferral today, given that the application would have to materially change in order for the objection to kind of go away. And so I don't believe that those changes will be in effect, given the deferral to address the city planning kind of like feedback.
All right, thank you. Anyone else want to speak on the deferral at this point? No? All right. Do we have people online? Okay, good. All right, let's take this into committee, the request for deferral. Anyone?
Madam Chair, is there any way that even with a deferral, does the applicant get a chance to sort of respond to the request? Because there are folks that are against it, and I'm kind of wondering if he could just talk to, these comments about, him wanting to delay the application just to hear his point of view to help make it easier.
Madam Chair, actually, that's not a bad idea out of respect for the neighbors to at least provide the applicant with an opportunity to address them directly.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's not appropriate that he would present any evidence at this time to adjudicate, because we don't know how the application will change.
Yep.
And to the neighbor's point, it's not really appropriate for the neighbors to air their concerns right now, because we don't know, again, we don't know how the application will change.
All right, let's bring Mr. Kim back.
Hello, yeah.
Hi. You heard what just was mentioned in terms of you wanting to speak to?
Yeah, what we are trying to propose for the reduce of the size means we are trying to get rid of all the height issues, all the we are just leave the side yard setback to the 4 feet. That's all we want to get it, and the front we are trying to make the front two driveway with the parking in front of that. That's all. So we're trying to get rid of all the other variants except the side yard setback issues actually.
All right, any questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you. We'll take it into committee. Mr. Marziari.
I can start. I don't want to make a motion, but I just want to emphasize that this is a really bad application. I think there's no consultation with the neighborhood. There is no consultation with the staff. So if it's being deferred, we are doing a favor to the applicant.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, normally we would give the benefit of the doubt to the applicant.
this
in
is just
terms of
nothing
the
is
deferral,
thought
but
properly.
The fact that we have a refusal report and it is one of the more impactful applications probably that we've seen. That being said, multiplexes and garden suites are permitted, so we're not debating the merits of that. It's the variances required to achieve this development on this site, so. Sorry, sir, you can't speak out. You've already had your opportunity. All right, anyone else have a comment? Come in.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, we come with a late deferral. I don't think it's the best way to handle things when we have this many objections to the deferral and the application. I do see the staff report, and I just think that it's not the best way to handle things, but something has got to give. We kind of got to come to a happy medium between both parties to see where this application can go.
All right. Mr. Bertolo?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm a little bit torn on this one because obviously the community is certainly opposed to it and they've come out in force. And the part that upsets me the most is actually wasting people's time, more so than anything else, right? We can look at the merits of the application and say yes or no, but I have a healthy respect for other people's time and effort and the accommodations that they need to come out here. So on one hand, just to be frank, like if it's just going to be pushing a wall 2 centimeters and reducing something by 1%, all we're doing is kicking a problem down the road by a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a substantive change, which we can't force on the applicant, then this is an exercise in futility. If the applicant is genuine in what they're saying and they're going to reduce all of those variances and get rid of everything except for a couple side yard setbacks, this is a very different application and is like not even in the realm of what's on paper in front of us today. So if I take the applicant at his word and saying that these are substantive changes, and then they come back and it's not, like that's also not going to be looked upon favorably either, right? Because then you are just buying time and trying to bleed out the clock and maybe, frankly, break people's will in terms of dragging things out. So I'm conscious of that, right? And it is, like, it has a very negative staff report, and numerically it has exceedances which are outside the norm. So I'm gonna have to think about this one for a second before I kind of make a motion.
Okay. I think in this case, personally, that it doesn't merit the deferral. I just don't, I think it'd be better to, refuse it and let them come back, let them think about it, let them go consult. They can reapply, yeah, with a better plan. Yeah. Someone want to make a motion? I suppose. Yeah, that's true. That is true. No, I know. All right, we could do that. Do we want to? No, I know. But as you said. Oh, go ahead, Ms. Sankar.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm hearing what everyone's saying, but I just feel that, I would like to give the applicant sort of like that, in my eyes, just sort of due process and really go back and consult with the neighbors and do what he's supposed to do to come back with an application such that no one else will have to come back. They'll just be happy with what he's putting forward. And I think that's just my take on it, is to give him the opportunity to do just that and make a substantive change and use this time to actually consult with everyone who took their time to come into the audience, so that the next time he submits, they won't have to come back. That's just my take.
That's fair. I mean, there's no compelling him to do so. you know, he doesn't have to consult with the public, but even if we recommend it. Would you like to make a motion, Ms. Ankar? Yes?
Sorry, talking there and I forgot to unmute myself, but I'm not sure if, you know, everyone, my colleagues will agree with me, no problem, but I'll make a motion to defer this application sine die to give him a chance to actually consult. It's YouTubeable, so our words are there. You know, to consult with the neighbors, get the application to a degree that they're happy, the applicant is happy, and it should give us no problems in approving the next time he comes around.
All right, do we have a seconder for that? No, it doesn't appear we have a seconder.
I'm always standing on a ledge by myself. It's okay.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
it was worth a try.
yeah, no worries.
All right, do we have an alternate motion? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Madam Chair. I suppose there's only one other option, knowing that if we refuse the deferral, we're gonna hear the case now, which is fine, and it's probably the most meaningful scenario for the applicant to get feedback from the neighbors. So I'm gonna put forward a motion to refuse the deferral, but and what I'll say is amongst the audience that's here today, when we move forward to hear this, we'd like to hear meaningful arguments against it based on the merits of the application. And if you designate a couple speakers, and please avoid repetition, because there's quite a few of you and this could take quite a while, please just be mindful of making repetitive comments on the same things over and over, right? So to that end, I'll put forward a motion to refuse the deferral.
All right, seconder? Mr. Marziari, all in favor? That is, I can't see Ms. Ankar right now. So I assume she's voting against that. But I can't see her. Ms. Ankar, are you there? Mine too. Well, that's 4 in favor.
Yeah,
The
we'll
mo-
just consider Ms. Sankar abstaining at this moment.
No, it doesn't change the result.
Oh, we're back.
Oh, she's back. Ms. Ankar, we just voted on that motion, and I didn't want to assume what you might have decided, but we...
No, that's okay, and I would have voted in favor of what everyone else has done.
Okay, so that's
Yeah, no
unanimous.
worries.
All right, thank you very much. Let's bring the applicant on, and Mr. Kim? So your request for deferral was denied, and we're going forward with hearing the application today because we have so many people in the audience, and it was the committee's decision to carry on. So if you could provide a brief presentation on the application first, and then we'll hear from the residents.
Okay, I requested deferral like ago.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Madam Chair, also just as a point, and I'll leave this in your hands, this one is actually out of order, right, at this point. It's number 15. Are you electing to hear this out of order? Because we still have the deferral on item number 11, and then we have a couple of items before we reach this one. So I'll leave it in your hands how you want to handle the ordering of this.
I feel like we've spent enough time on it now. We probably should just progress on this, and we have all these people in the audience, so I just think, yeah, I don't want to do that. We're not going to be here at 6 o'clock, so don't worry about that. But yeah, I think we will proceed on this one. Item 11, I don't know where they were, but they can wait. All right, let's try to be expeditious on this activity. Mr. Kim, could you give us a presentation, please? Well, first we have to fix your audio issue. Or maybe he's not there. Do we have the applicant? Have we lost him?
Through you, Madam Chair, he's online, but he's not speaking.
I'm sorry, are you,
Mr. Kim?
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you give us a presentation, please?
There's nothing that I can say about it. Actually, I requested defer about 2 weeks ago, and then I was talking to the planner regarding about the height issues and everything, and then we were trying to change it, but there was no time to change it before the committee, right? And then after change that, and then we can talk to the neighbors. Before the change it, what's the point of the talk to the neighbors, right? So we were waiting for the defer request, and then we were going to talk to the neighbor after that.
Right. Well, so the decision to defer is not staff's, it's the committee. And the committee made a decision to proceed and not defer the application at this point. So I would suggest you do a presentation and indicate what your changes may be. But at this point, we're hearing the application as it is, and we're going to hear from the residents as well. So.
Okay, in that case, is it possible that we can waiver some of the variances and then
Yes?
we can go to
Yep,
process?
we can pull up the public meeting notice and you can tell us what you would change.
Yeah, we want to change the number one side yard setback 1.8 to 1.5 meter.
That's for variance 1? Is it for
I'm
1
sorry,
and 2?
variance-
Or just 1? 1 is the east side yard setback.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2.
So for
Change
both
to
of them,
1
you want to change to
Yeah,
1.5?
both of them. Yeah,
Okay,
and then height issues
okay.
for the number 4
Mhm.
removed, 5 removed,
Ooh.
6 removed, 7 removed. Yes.
All right. And the number 8 for the garden suite, that remains?
Gardens will be removed. Yes.
Sorry, it's removed?
It's removed. Yes.
Sorry?
Garden suite removed. Number 8 removed.
All right. All right, did everybody hear that? Okay. Let's just recap. Variance 1 and 2, he's proposing to increase the east and west side yard setbacks from 1.2 to 1.5. So that's the first two. And then variance 5, did he say 5 was gone? 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are gone.
Number 3 removed. Number 3 too.
Oh, number 3 is gone. Okay. So you only
Yeah.
have 2 variances?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Staff, we're good? Okay. Very different. Okay, but we can't tie anything. No. All right, and do you want to explain the purpose of the application? Or just stop at that? What? No, it's not, but we can defer. Yeah, but we still have to hear from them. Yeah, we do. Now that we've gone down that road. We could? Yeah. All right, I don't know what this applicant is doing, but I assume that's the end of his presentation, that he's changing the variances. I think we'll just take it at that. Yep. Now, for the neighbors, I'm gonna swing around here now that you can see me. We've already previously discussed that the multiplex and the garden suite are permitted. That was approved by council. It's not a decision that the committee makes. That is permitted as of right. So now we're just looking at the variances for what he's proposing. The problem is we don't have a revised site plan, we don't have revised building plans. All we know is that he's only requesting 2 variances, and those are for the side yards of the multiplex. I don't know if you can-
Madam Chair, if it helps, we can just put up a site plan so they have a general idea
Okay.
where the side yard setback
So-
happens.
That being said, your comments, we have the letters of opposition, we have the petition, we understand what all your concerns were, but if you want to maybe, I'm not sure if one person was representing everyone, or I know there's obviously a group of people being represented. If we could have 1 or 2 people speak on it, that would be great. And just taper your comments to what you're now hearing from the application. Great. Yep. No, go ahead. Mr. Bartolo's just going to make a comment.
And ladies and gentlemen, just for the benefit of the audience there, like the magnitude of the changes they just made is like wildly different from what was presented. It's very significant. So just to help you understand if what's in front of you on the site plan, you'll notice a side yard setback of 1.22 centimeters. They're going to increase that to 1.5. So really what the point of contention is 30 centimeters on either side of the building, about 1 foot is the only variance that the applicant is now asking for. It's not too high. It doesn't cover too much land. It's not too long. It is slightly closer to the lot lines on either side than it's permitted to be. So, and like the chair said, like it or not, multiplexes are a permitted use. We're not debating the merits of that. We're now debating whether it can be 30 centimeters closer or farther from the lot line. All right? So these are pretty substantive changes, and I'll leave it at that.
All right.
Perfect. So again, for the record, my name is Dennis Wu. I'm the owner and resident at 201 Ellerslie, which is the subject property behind 142 Betty Ann. With these material changes, kind of with, or the proposed kind of changes, it is a completely different kind of application. As you mentioned, Mr. Bartolo, the setbacks on the east and west side is really the only thing. The height of the building will be now limited. The garden suite is now removed. Provided those things do come back kind of in the subsequent revision or application, we can, as a residents, deal with that at that particular time, but it stays within the rules and the confines of the bylaws.
Yeah, just so you know, it wouldn't be coming back
Okay.
because we're not going to defer it at this point. We're hearing the application.
Okay.
But the fact that he's revised his application, the only variances they could, if we were to approve them, the only variances they could get are those 2 side yards.
Those 2 side backs. So then I would ask that the committee basically declines this application because it's a materially different application. from what was submitted in terms of all the evidence that we have reviewed and objected to kind of on the garden suite, on the height of the building, on the setback, on the waste water management component with the parking that was requested. But removing all those things basically negates the application.
Well, the application still stands, and there are 2 variances that they are requesting. So really, we can't just refuse it because it's a different plan.
Okay.
And, you know, the sentiment was that people wanted to go forward with the application. So here we are with 2 variances.
Okay.
So thank you for your comment. Does anyone else want to speak? Sorry?
Robert Ema, 140 Betty Ann Drive. I'm requesting a deferral until we see architectural plans. I think it's only fair. We need to see the plans before we can make any decisions.
Well, sir, that would be, you know, go back 45 minutes and we could talk about that. But now that the application has been amended, if they had no variances, you wouldn't see the plans because it would just need a permit. So we're at the point now where there's 2 variances. If we're to approve it, they would get those 2 variances, but the rest of the plans are immaterial to everyone because they just have to meet the city bylaw and permit standards.
I had submitted a PDF file with some photos. I was hoping I could speak to that because one of my biggest concern with my young family and my grandkids is this garden suite. And I know they're allowed, but the sheer magnitude of the proposed garden suite, I've got an in-ground swimming pool. It's going to totally shade, shadow. Okay, there, that's Dennis's deck.
Madam Chair, perhaps this for the benefit, there are no variants now associated with the gardens. The garden suite is as of right. They can go right now tomorrow and get a building permit.
Even though I'm going to have, in essence, a 24-foot wall shading my garden, my pool, the enjoyment of my yard and my grandchildren, we lose all sense of privacy and enjoyment of our amenities. And furthermore, the proposed 3rd floor decks that they're going to have directly now overlook our spa, our dining area, and our deck. So the sheer magnitude of this home is going to, we've lived in the neighborhood for 50 years, and this is just going to overtake the enjoyment of our yard. So there's got to be some discussion. It's great to say, oh, a garden center is permitted, a garden suite is permitted, but we must be able to talk to the scope and size of such a thing. 2-story garden center, 24 feet tall? I'm going to lose my backyard.
There are bylaw standards associated with the garden suite, and at this point, they are meeting those standards. That is what the city permits.
Again, Madam Chair,
understand
for the
your-
benefit, that the applicant can go for a building permit tomorrow and build that garden suite.
And I have no rights.
Yeah.
Okay? Disappointed. I mean,
I understand. I understand your
and the fact that they were so disrespectful not to come to the neighbors, share their thoughts, and as I say, we got 20-odd people here that have taken time and energy to put together decks, presentations we've submitted, and now we don't have the courtesy of allowing us to present our concerns. This is wrong.
I will say this, sir. Like, you have the opportunity to express your concerns. Your written submissions have been reviewed, and to be honest, in large part, you've scored a win because there's some significant reductions based on your opposition. I know it might not feel like that specifically for what your concerns are right at this moment, but they've reduced almost everything to come into compliance. We cannot make them go beyond compliance.
Well,
Sorry. And
Yeah,
we'll touch on the flooding, because I know it's going to be a concern, right? The flooding is dealt with by the building department. They can't just flood you out of your own property. There has to be proper water control.
So with the slope of the property and the building
I'm
of the
not- I
structure,
understand your concern, sir. I'm not going to
Okay.
debate the merits of like the civil engineering,
Okay.
the sloping and the grading. It has to be in compliance with the city standards and the building code standards for that. The building inspector enforces those on behalf of the city to ensure that that water is accommodated appropriately. I understand the concern. I get it, but this is not the committee of water.
Okay.
Like,
let me ask one final question. So as this sounds like this is going to go ahead regardless of our thoughts, our feelings, our concerns, what is the maximum privacy fence that we can have this builder install to at least ensure some sense of privacy as a neighbor?
we can't compel fencing, right? The fencing can be a private agreement, or they can do it as through their own volition, should they want to, just like you're allowed to build your own privacy fence through your own volition, should you want to.
Thank you.
So we don't know, you'd have to consult city building. All right, where does that leave us? So we have,
We have one more neighbor online as well.
okay. Hello.
Vincent Taubman, I'm at 141 Betty Ann Drive. So I've heard the plan from the agent, and I'd love to see that actually really out there, because if you take the plan and put it back up that you had up there, and there's 4 cars parked on the parking space in the front, where are those cars going to go now? There's no parking on the street, so he said that is gone, so that we're not going to have that. But how do we guarantee that that's not going to be there? And not only that, but that street, just around the corner is a road called Diagonal, and just up from that, 2 schools with young kids walking up and down that road, and then coming down Betty Ann, which is going to be, with all of these cars, and I don't know where those cars are going to go. That's going to be an issue with the kids coming to and from school. The whole idea that you have a 4-plex with the garden suite that is now pre-approved by the city. A lot of people on that street now are getting older. That means there's going to be a lot of 4-plexes on that street in the future, which is just going to, if you got 4-plexes there, the garden suite, that's 5. That's potentially 10 new washrooms, toilets, and you've got that all the way down the street. That's just going to overwhelm the whole thing. So from a city perspective, you got to think that that's actually bad planning, that they're going to put that kind of thing in, because those services are just going to be overwhelmed by what's out there. And one thing that has not been addressed either is the tree canopy and what's going to happen with that. There's a massive tree on the front of that garden, and is that going to be taken down? We don't know. So it might be great that we've heard this from the agent online. I'd love to see it in writing before I actually say that you should approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, last person.
I'd like to thank the members of the committee for this opportunity. My name is Dan Miller. I live at 144 Betty Ann Drive, so I am the house immediately west of the subject property. So the variance that's proposed, number 1 and 2, they affect, well, number 2 would affect me, but a neighbor at 140 Betty Ann would be affected by number 1. So the problem is that this is a very narrow space, or as it is right now, between the 2 houses, and they want to make it even smaller. And they're allowed to put a garden suite in the backyard, and they may very well rent it out to tenants, and those tenants will have to walk through that narrow path on either the west side or east side to go from the garden suite to the street. And because it's so narrow, they're invariably going to sometimes trespass on my property or the property of 140 Betty Ann's Drive. So you're taking 1.8 meters, which is now the stipulated distance, and he wants to narrow it to 1.5 meters. And, you know, if you're going to have a garden suite in the back, which is likely and which is permitted, and which I'm not, you know, going to fight it, the fact is that there's invariably going to be trespassing by the tenants as they go back and forth. Already 1.8 meters is not very much as it is. I also note that in the staff report of April the 23rd, which you've read, on the top of the second page, when they wanted to reduce the side setback from 1.8 meters to 1.22 meters, the staff were against it. They recommended against it. And I think they would still recommend against it just because it went from 1.8 to, instead of 1.22, it's now going to be 1.5. It's still not a minor variance, it's a major distance. And the staff point out that there has to be sufficient separation in from the side lot line for building maintenance and also just for access to the backyard, and also to maintain a consistent build form throughout the neighborhood. So this is not a minor variance, it's a major variance. It should be refused, just as the staff report suggested on April 23rd. Subject to any questions you have, those are my submissions.
Thank you. Any questions? No, I think we're good. Thank you. All right, let's bring the applicant back. Oh, yes, sorry.
Through you, Madam Chair, we unmuted Atife Mashratan.
No question, thank you.
Oh, no comments. Oh, thank you. All right. Unrelated neighbor?
Actually, I like to talk as a public person here. I'm not talking about my application, but I want to talk about this application. I think it's helpful for everyone. So, you know, this application requests for deferral, but the chance for deferral is gone. So the applicant, they remove the variances. And right now, the variances that is removed, the application is reasonable and you may accept it. But if you accept it, you don't give the chance to the public. If they have a chance to talk in the future, they can talk with the neighbors and the applicant can provide the drawing. You know, as your request, if the garden suite is in the back, if they keep the 3-meter setback, they can add a window. With the 3-meter setback, they cannot do this application. And the negotiation, the future negotiation, you can grant them approval of the side setback, but the condition of the no garden suite. For example, I mean, if you have a chance in the future and negotiate with the neighbor, with the planner and designer, they have the conclusion in the future. Right now, if you accept the application, you're owning the right of the neighbor. I'm sorry to talk this way.
No,
if
that's
you
okay.
if you refuse it, again, you didn't. They can go and build the house with the no setback variance, multi-unit with the garden suite, and no one can oppose. I believe the best for the public is deferral, I believe. Yeah, sorry.
Well, we crossed that bridge a little while ago. We could. I mean, okay, I will just say, okay, can we have every architect here today to give their 2 cents? Your
I'm sorry,
microphone's
Madam
not on.
Chair, for those online,
Sorry.
we can't hear what's going
Sorry.
on. We don't know what's
Okay.
happening.
Sorry.
One
through
more
you, Madam
time.
Chair. I agree with this, and I feel like the neighbors thought they won, and I think in the end, for due process, I don't know what this thing is going to look like. I think it would be better if you could ask city staff if it's appropriate that you could grant the deferral so that people could see what this thing is going to look like. Because I think you don't know what it's going to look like. The variances are truly minor in nature now, but I think it's fair for the neighbors. This is just my experience, and I don't know if it's possible. Maybe staff could comment on that.
Yeah, but the building permit process is public. People can look at
No,
the
it's
plans.
not.
They can't see them?
It's not.
I thought they could.
No.
They cannot. Madam Chair, I just want to add, though, that your panel does not have the jurisdiction to comment on design
No.
and how a building looks. So I hate to say it, but the only thing, if he was to come back, the only thing he would do is move the sidewalls in, and it would look exactly the same.
And
This
and
panel
reduce
has
the
no
height.
jurisdiction to say, oh, the door is in the wrong place, the windows are in the wrong place.
Or they should move the garden suite.
Yeah, exactly. So if they were to defer and it came back, it can look exactly the same, except the sidewalls would just be pushed in. Those two lines that you see at 1.22 will simply be moved in 1 foot to 1.55. That's the only change.
And if you had an applicant who was more agreeable and, interactive with the neighbors, that might have been something that could happen, but I don't see that happening here. So I think we're dealing with two variances, and I think we're good to go. And we've already heard from you, so I'm not sure what you could possibly add.
But when I spoke, our understanding was that it was being rejected, the application. So that's how we thought.
That
at
was the
point.
deferral, I think you spoke on, and you didn't want it deferred, you wanted us to consider it. So we are considering it, the applicant.
But when we were considering it, with no plan, there is no guarantee. We do not have a vision. This is a substantially different proposal. Please follow the proper procedure and allow the 20 some odd people here to actually see the plan. The developer has proven to the neighbors to be dishonest. He has straight out lied to us, the ones that he did bother to speak through. He's been disrespectful to you, Madam Chairman, in the committee.
So
Please.
we are following the process, and this is the process. We said we wouldn't defer it, that we would consider it. And now we are dealing with the application. There are two variances. If they didn't have those variances, even if they do, they're just going to build what they can within the permit and the zoning regulations. There's not going to be any chance to change things around. The committee cannot influence that. So I don't see the benefit of deferring it for new plans. It seems, it's not, I understand you're not going to be able to see them, but if there weren't variances, you wouldn't see them anyway, and they would just build it. I can't see, other than having a curiosity about knowing, I don't think it affects this process. And this process is to consider minor variances under the bylaw. We have two variances before us, and that's where we're at right now.
It's unfortunate that the disrespect from them is winning. They're winning by their disrespect, the tactics, the games that they've played with you as a committee, and they've now won.
I understand. All right. Where are we? Let's bring our applicant back.
Through you, Madam Chair, and Mrs. Nadini wanted to add something. She was raising her hand.
Sorry?
Nadini was
sorry.
raising her
It's
hand to add
just-
something.
It's okay. I thought we were going to go into
Oh, I'm
committee. I
sorry.
was going to force that, but I realized a due process is to let the applicant respond. I'm
Thank
just
you.
ready for
Sorry,
committee.
Ms.
that's all.
Sankar.
That's okay.
In all of it, I just.
So Madam Chair, yeah, it would be appropriate if you would allow the applicant, if he wanted to respond, because you've heard from the neighbors.
That's what I'm
again.
doing.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Kim.
Yeah, it's kind of confused. So actually, we are trying to make the side yard setback issues only. All the other parties part of it. We're gonna follow the zoning bylaw, and then we are allowed to fourplex and then garden suite at the back by the law actually. So I don't know what's the issue for the neighbors, honestly. We're gonna make all the height issues, everything within the zoning, and then all the other part. Only I'm asking for the side yard setback to 1 foot each other. Any question? I can happy to answer about it.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? No? All right, I think we have heard enough that we need to hear on this application. Let's take this into committee. Ms. Sankar.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I see this as pretty much a bit of a whole new application. My first instinct was to defer. We've already crossed that road. Now we're here, we've heard the application. Whilst we now have only two variances that would be seemingly minor, and if eradicated, they can build as of right. It's permitted in the city bylaws, and that's fine and that's good. I do take to heart about procedural fairness, and I do believe that if they've gone through this, it means it feels like a whole new application to sort of on the spot do all of this and not have sort of a site plan and other things that, folks came in a little bit frazzled about what they expected, and then to sort of shift that on the spot. I really think that there is some truth to having some procedural fairness here in that, and to not be able to, if it's one little thing or this or that, but we've talked, and I think as a committee, when you're making that many changes, that's a whole new application to me. And so for that reason, I can't support this application, and I would refuse, but I've always been on a ledge, so I'm not sure how my colleagues feel, but I will not be supporting this application.
Thank you. Ms. Klein?
I have some comments. I am on the ledge with you, Ms. Sankar. I don't feel like I can support the application. It's just a lot of new information, and I don't think that I have proper plans in front of me in order to make that decision. So I'm not able to approve that. I'm with Ms. Sankar.
Okay, thank you. On this side of the chair?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I mean, based on really the two variances that are in front of us, they, in my opinion, they are well and truly minor, talking about 30 centimeters on either side and a significant reduction. Would a site plan be beneficial? Yes, it would, right? There are some other items on here in terms of ground cover and landscaping, which would be better represented graphically, but ultimately they have to be in compliance with those and figure it out one way or another based on where they are right now. So I think based on what they've done, it's a supportable application in my view.
All right. Mr. Marziar, you're the only one left.
This is honestly very unusual. We've never been in this situation that it's a brand new application. But I am with Mr. Bartolo. I think we're dealing with just two variances. As I said, the applicant wasn't prepared for this. And it's not a good application at all, but like now we're dealing with just two variances, two side yard setbacks. So I can't really refuse that. I think those are minor. If I evaluate the application based on the 4 test, it's clearly meeting the 4 test now. But, it's very unfortunate that everything is changing on the floor.
Yep.
But yeah, I cannot refuse that.
All right. Would someone, Ms. Sankar?
Yeah, I could make a motion. However, I do want to draw to everyone's attention that when we make our opening remarks and, before starting any hearing, we talk about, making changes to an application on the spot. And we do say something like that, we're not really supposed to. And, if it's a couple minor things, that's fine. But it's it's a lot, and it's very big changes that drew a crowd here. So for all those reasons, and sticking to procedural fairness as my reasoning, I'm going to refuse this I'm making a motion to refuse this application.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Ms. Klein? All in favor of the motion to refuse? That is 2 in favor and against? 3 against. Thank you. All right, which means we need an alternate motion.
You or me?
Well, we know what we're doing, so I'll be the brave one. So forward the motion to approve this application as amended, just variances 1 and 2. And also forestry,
1 and 2?
yeah, variances 1 and 2, and refuse variances 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
They've been removed, though.
They've
so-
been removed, so as amended.
Okay.
And also forestry condition 1 and 2, yeah.
1 and 2, okay. All right, seconder, Mr. Bartolo, all in favor? That is 3 in favor and opposed. That is 2 opposed, Ms. Sankar and Ms. Klein. All right, the application as amended has been approved. Thank you. Okay, we'll take a quick 5-minute. I can't get my cursor. Oh, for God's sake. can't talk to us. All right, are we back? Am I online? Yes, I'm online. Okay. Believe it or not, we're on item 11, which is a requested deferral, except we don't have the applicant, but could we have their letter posted, please, requesting the deferral? Not ready to attend. Resolve some confusion for the owner. Not a big reason why. I mean, Does anyone have any concern with this one? No. Let's just deal with it. Committee. Mr. Bartolo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the absence of the applicant or the owner, and in light of the letter, I'll put forward a motion to defer this application to allow them to coordinate with city and the project owner.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Marziari, all in favor of the deferral of item 11? That is unanimous. The application's been deferred. Okay. Sorry? Yeah, you're welcome, wherever you are. All right. Item number 12, I'm going to remove myself, and Ms. Klein is going to chair this one.
Thank you. Item number 12 is 3 Mason Boulevard. We have an application for minor variance to alter the existing 2-story detached dwelling by constructing additions to the front and north side of the dwelling, a new 2nd story, and a 3rd story addition. This application was previously deferred on February 5th, 2026. The variances we have, there are 14. We have a platform without a main wall, exterior stairs providing pedestrian access, minimum height, minimum required front yard landscaping, maximum permitted driveway width, height, maximum permitted height of a side exterior main wall, maximum permitted number of stories, required front yard setback, rear yard setback, minimum required side yard setback, minimum required, side yard setback on both sides, sorry. Building length for a detached house, the Toronto and Regional Conservation Authority shoreline hazard limit, and the building structure on the lot regarding the shoreline hazard limit. We have a staff report, natural feature protection report, TRCA report, TTC report, and I think we have late site plans. Yep, okay, thank you. Do we have the applicant?
We do.
Can we get your name and
Lo-
address, please?
Lauren Rose, 388 Spadina Road, Toronto.
Thank you, and I just want to check, we have neighbors online? Okay, thank you.
There's somebody online?
Yes, there is somebody
Okay.
online. We'll hear from you first.
Okay.
Any changes to the application?
Yes, the first change this is after consultation with the neighbor next door, number 5. Variance 10 should now read, instead of 0.62 meters, we've increased it to 0.77 meters.
0.77 meters?
Yes,
And is that all?
that's all.
Okay, thank you. And I think because we have the neighbor online, we'll have
Yes.
our presentation, please.
Certainly. Okay, it's unfortunate, Madam Chair couldn't be here. I didn't know she was living in the street, but she will know that this is a tiny little house on a cliff. So Conservation Authority, you can't build forward, you can't build back. You can only build to the front and to the side. Little story, actually, if you staff can show that. So there's the street there. Mason Boulevard was supposed to go through. The street was developed in 1886 as a road going through to Yonge Street. We believe it was possibly closed in 1911. The house was built in 1941. You can see, and if staff would go up to one above, you can see the road would have gone through. So there is lots of room between our house and the house next door. The geometry here is quite interesting, and like this morning's hearing where I said that we spoke with planning and they sort of had no objections, the same thing happened, and then I got a negative staff report. Their concerns are about the side yard setbacks. They said to me that their minimum they want to see is 0.45 meters. So on one side, we were at 0.62 and we're at 0.77, and that's at a pinch point because the house is not rectilinear to the lot lines. And then the other side yard setback, the existing home, I don't know if staff can put up the site plan. Actually, if you scroll down, you might see it. The existing house is negative 0.84 over the property line. You can see just some other stuff here. So the house is on the city property right now. We're now bringing it back to 0. And so I don't know, they're objecting to it because they want more setback, but there will never be a house built on the land next door. All of those red circles are utilities. This is a street, meant to be a street, so you could never build a house on that property. So their comments are that you need to leave more space between houses is, in my opinion, absurd, since the existing house is already over the property line. So I'll go through each of the variances. The proposed front porch encroaches 1.5 meters into the required front setback. As I said, sorry, if staff can put up the proposed site plan, this is the existing house. I can't go to the back, I can't go to one side. I've brought the house back from one side. All I could go is a little bit forward and to the side. You can see the hatched areas. I cannot build because the province won't let me. Yes, we have an encroachment into the front yard. I will say you're probably going to hear from number 5, which I was the architect for, and I'll talk more about that. The delta of what they asked for a front yard setback is absurdly different. We're only asking for a little bit. Exterior stairs, I don't think anyone really cares how wide the stairs are. They're the same width as the stoop. Proposed soft landscaping in the front yard is 0.51 when 75% is supposed to be. I will note that the whole driveway is already paved. The whole front is paved. The front yard is so small. And I'll also note, if you remember that picture I showed of the aerial, there's a huge city boulevard. So there's tons of grass in front of it. So visually, there's an immense amount of space, of green space. Maximum permitted driveway, 3.51, we're at 4.21. It's as wide as the garage, and presently the driveway is wider. The maximum permitted height, 10 meters, we're asking for 10.51. I will note that at number 5, we were granted 10.8, so we're already 3.3 meters lower than that. So it's precedent if you want to look at it that way. I had to go to a 3rd story because I couldn't go out more. Height of sidewalls, most of this house, the sidewalls are way below 7.5. It's just part of the new addition that is higher. If you look at the drawings, you can see that. As I said, because I couldn't really build out on it, we went up with a small 3rd floor. It's within sort of the existing roof and part of the addition we have. Proposed front yard setback, the required is 2.2, we're asking for 9.2. At number 5, the required was 10.3, and we achieved 1.86. So that delta is so huge. And I think that, and in my presentation, I have the committee of adjustment files for number 5. Minimum rear yard, 6.2 meters. The proposed rear yard is 4.75. That's the existing. I'm not changing anything there. Minimum required side yard is 1.8. On the side here, as you can see, I don't know if you can note, the little arc, that's our front lot. The 2 diagonals are sides, and Yonge Street is our rear yard. So the geometry of how you calculate things is a little strange here. So as I said, the existing was 0.84. We're pulling the building back to 0. And you can build a building on 0 lot line. We won't have foundations that go over the property line. It'll be a cantilevered footing. Permitted building length for a detached is 17 meters. We're at 17.52. If you can see all those diagonals on that drawing in front of you, the house isn't even 17 meters. It's tiny, but the way you calculate it on the diagonal, a line from the midpoint of the front yard to the midpoint of the rear yard lot line, and that's the angle you calculate. So we're much smaller than that, but that's the bylaw. Conservation Authority, we have 0 setback to the shoreline because the shoreline goes through the building presently. Building 1.4 meters from a shoreline, the same thing. Everything's existing there. And that's my presentation.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Bartolo?
Thank you. Just to kind of clarify and frame this, because it's a very unusual lot.
It's very.
And I think it'll help in the decision-making. I know you said everything is existing, but if we could very quickly go through the variance and say whether it's an existing condition or whether it's an improved condition from the existing real
Okay,
quick.
that's fair, it's a good idea. So, approach front board, so, I can't approach, but you can see the hatched area. We are,
You can go and point at the screen if it's easier.
I thought I wasn't allowed to because I'm off camera.
Oh.
I can or I cannot? Maybe you can pull up my floor plans, maybe that'll show it on the proposal. Go to the ground floor plan, I know yeah, that's the existing. So there was a garage on the side. Keep going, keep going, keep going, okay. That's not true. Okay, the front porch is coming. We do have a front porch and it's projecting into it, so that's not,
Sorry, do you mind if we just go through in order of 1 through 14, whether it's an existing or improved condition?
okay, so the porch is new, so it's a new condition, but many people, the front door used to be in the backyard. So you see where it says patio in the back?
I do.
When the house was designed, that was the front door. So you could make an argument that where we were used to be 0.84 over the property line, that was a porch. So it was way more, so we're less than the existing. How's that?
I think I follow your logic.
The old porch was over the property line, now we're 1.5 meters from the front.
I would imagine that's an improvement. So.
Right. Exterior pedestrian walkway, front porch, the stairs, I don't think that's important. The width of the stairs is the size of the stoop.
No, we can
And we're only a foot over. Front yard landscaping. Because the front yard setback has moved forward, it's probably similar. That the whole front yard was paved and onto the city boulevard, so I don't actually know if it's the same.
I mean, if we can pause on that one for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, numerically, it's a bit of a difference, but understanding that this is an atypical lot, do you have the calculations for the rear yard? On balance, how is the lot doing in terms of landscape coverage?
The whole backyard is green. It's layers and layers. It's a huge slope down to Yonge Street. So I would say it's probably similar to what was there, but I don't know those statistics.
Fair enough.
Permitted driveway width, I actually think we're making it smaller because it's only the width of the driveway, of the parking space.
Understood.
Permitted height, the height, can we show the elevations, staff? No, you'd go down. So yes, we are higher.
Okay.
So you can see the old peak of the gable is dotted. So we are higher, but we are lower than approved next door, which I was the architect for. Exterior sidewalls, that is a worse condition because you can see how low the old sidewalls were. They were way under, and still way under on the majority of the house. So part is number of stories. You could have fit a third floor in there, but there was none, so that's an increase. Front yard setback, that is an increase. That the old setback was required to be two. Oh, I should. If you look at the old porch that encroached over, this is actually better. I forgot about that part. Minimum required side yard setback, same thing. Rear yard. Side yard setback, yes, that is a variance that wasn't there before. Rear yard setback was there, length was there, and so were 11, 12, 13, 14 were existing.
Understood. Thank you. I think that does it for my questions for now.
Any other questions?
Just a quick question. So variance number 3, you are making a new hard surface for the driveway, correct?
Yes.
So if we approve this, are you okay to use permeable pavers for that?
So staff can put up the photo on my presentation. I could say yes, but the problem is the majority of the driveway is on that old city street. So if staff put up the photo, the aerial photo, second drawing. So if you can imagine, you can see the house is the one with the red dot. there's a whole part of this, of Mason Boulevard that looks like it's owners, and I can't,
So do you have any easement over that, or?
no, Mason Boulevard was supposed to go through all the way to Young. So it's paved, and so our driveway goes onto that pavement.
Oh, so your driveway goes to the edge of the property line, and then.
Yeah, our front yard setback's 1.2 meters or something, whatever it is, so I could do permeable pavement there, but it would look silly.
You can't
But if that was
city property.
important for you, I can't redo city property.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
So it would look silly, but if that's a condition,
Yeah,
I'd
fair enough.
accept it.
No other questions? Thank you. Do we have the neighbor online?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please state your name and address.
Absolutely. So first name is Amin, A-M-I-N, last name is Tabakori. Address is 5 Mason Boulevard, and I have my mom, Maliha Najabat, sitting here right next to me.
Hi, I'm Maliha Najabat.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time and dedicating time to go over this. So after carefully reviewing the proposed plans for our neighbor, would like to share our feedback. We are absolutely supportive of the requested variance related to the front yard setback, as we believe it's reasonable and consistent with the character of our neighborhood. However, we are unable to support the proposed side north yard setback on our side of property, which is indicated at approximately 2.6 feet. Whereas zoning bylaw in the same neighborhood requires a minimum of 6 feet. Based on our review of recent Committee of Adjustment decisions since 2024, it appears that while minor reductions to side yard setbacks have been approved, they have generally remained within a limited and consistent range. There is 85 Young Boulevard, 35 lot, zoning required 1.8, committee approved 1.22. 127 Young Boulevard, 50-foot lot, zoning required 1.8, committee approved 1.21. So the range is pretty consistent there, and notably even on a narrower 35 lots, for the side yard setback, it was only around 1.22, which is around 4 feet. So what they're asking is much further reduction than what has been granted in the similar neighborhood. There are so many examples like this. I can go through a list: 127 Young Boulevard, 30 Dever Gardens, 36 Brook, and so on. So we are a little bit concerned that constructing that building at such a reduced distance from our property is going to create some challenges. And of course, we don't want to cause any trouble. We love our new neighbor, and we are going to be here for years to live next door to each other. So the only concern that we have, it doesn't align with the established character of the neighborhood. There's a potential roof overhang and snow accumulation problem there. There's going to be difficulty during the construction due to limited access and limited space if they're going to be building that closely. And of course, the long-term maintenance for both properties. And potential impacts, it's going to be drainage, privacy, and overall usability of our basically side yard. We remain open to any revised proposals that it basically going to be closely more aligned with the Committee of Adjustment zoning bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the neighbor? Okay, should we let?
Is there anyone else?
No, I don't think there's anybody else, just one neighbor.
Okay, I'll start out with saying people in glass houses shouldn't cast stones. Can we go through my presentation then? Because my presentation is going to show how aggressive the variances that we sought at number 5's property. So keep going. So they have a huge property that was governed by TRCA, but keep going. I'll show you That's the existing, sorry, go back. You can see where the old house was on the property at number 5, and they moved it way forward. So they had a huge variance. On the north side of the site, they have a 0.9 meter side yard setback. And when 1.8 is required. So it was good enough for them to get an increased side yard setback, but it's not good for a neighbor who cannot build anywhere else on a unique lot. All the precedents that he talked about were on regular lots. And we know that 1.2 meters is available almost anywhere. I get 0.9 meter many places. So as I said, our proposal, it's 0.77 at a pinch point, and then at the back it goes to 0.87. Virtually the same as what I got for them. Having said that, look at the size of the side yard setback that he's saying they can't enjoy. They have 3.05 meters from setback to our property. That's what we got approved there. And he's saying they won't be able to enjoy their property, they won't be able to deal with things. I don't understand how people in glass houses can cast stones like that. They would never have achieved this lot if it wasn't for the variances they got, which were much more aggressive than here. And they had more freedom to build. Concerns about snow removal, there's many places in the city that have less than 1 foot between houses or 2 feet, and snow is still removed. He did use the word, he wouldn't reasonably be able to use their side yard, which has a 3 meter side yard setback. Example. Again, I will note that Councillor's office has not commented here. The Ratepayers Association that our chair is a member of did not comment here. This is such a unique situation, deserves a unique solution. There is a huge boulevard. If you go back up to the first 2 pages of my presentation, there is a giant swath of land. And that's the path. This is a pathway that all the neighbors take to go down to Yonge Street, outlined in orange. So while the rest of that property is not my client's property, it looks like it is from the street. So there's nothing hard done by here. I think planning's comments are a little bit absurd. I don't think they ever went out to the site. I had to speak to the planner. He didn't know that the neighbor had a higher height variance than ours. I think this is a sensitive solution, and cumulatively, these variances are minor in impact, but there are a lot of variances, many of which are existing. That's my submission.
Thank you. Any questions? Shall we take this into committee? Thank you.
I can start off the conversation here. Thank you for the presentation there, Mr. Lauren. Listen, this is probably one of the more unique lots that we've seen in a while. And I understand that numerically some of the things on paper may kind of be a bit eye-widening, but then when you look at them under a magnifying glass, you see that there are some pretty significant site constraints, especially as it relates to TRCA. And I recognize the existing condition and the fact that we have a property that is encumbering city land, which is very unusual and typically doesn't happen. And I'm sure the city would be very happy to have that condition cleaned up in the future as well as part of this. Understanding what the neighbor is saying, listen, I get it. It's tighter than we'd like it to be, and I think it's actually tighter than what the applicant would like it to be. When I look at the constraints on the site and making it a functional, usable piece of land, I think I can support this application with the one amendment that's been made here. You don't come across files like this very often, and I will say that some of the ways we use our measuring tools are not made for such irregular lots, and that it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and we look at it in the context of the parcel. So when I look at it in the context of the parcel, while numerically it is outside the bounds of what we would typically see, on balance, when I look at for example, the green space, I think there's adequate green space across the property, maybe not in the front yard, but there's almost no front yard in the existing condition as it stands today. And with the adjacent lot as well, I think that's a bit of a mitigating factor on that piece of city-owned property. So like I said, on balance, it's an unusual application, and I think we have to kind of use our best judgment and not just be ruled by the tape measure on this one. So that's my comments before we make a motion.
Thank you. I am in agreement with you, Mr. Bartolo. Anything from you, Mr. Mazzari?
I think I agree with my both colleagues. I think it's an unusual shaped lot. I try to understand all the variances. I know the architect worked a lot to figure out a way to design something in this lot, but none of the variances are really concerning to me. So I am also in support of this application.
Thank you. Can we get a motion?
Yeah, I'm prepared to put forward a motion. I'll put forward a motion to approve this application subject to the following condition, that variance number 10, the proposed north side yard setback be increased to 0.77 meters, subject to the conditions of the ravine memo attached herein, and the TTC condition, and the conditions of the TTC memo attached here with it.
You don't have forestry?
No, it's wrapped up in the TRC
okay.
and the ravine. Yeah.
So I second that.
Thank you. All in favor? That's unanimous. Your application has been approved. Thank you.
All right, item 13, 323 Parkview Avenue. This is an application, excuse me, to construct a new two-story detached dwelling with 2 integral garages and rear deck, deferred from February 5th. Variances are for front yard setback, west side yard setback, side exterior main wall, west side yard setback, and east side yard setback. On file, we have minutes from February 5th, a red line notice, survey plans for March 25th, a site plan April 8th, community planning report, urban forestry memo, and 1 letter of objection from 329 Parkview Avenue, and the previous agenda package. All right, welcome.
Good afternoon again, Madam Chair, member of the committee. My name is Mehran Haidari from PMP Design Group. Yeah, as you mentioned, this application is deferred and we improved the application.
Sorry,
So-
Mr. Haid, your address, please, just for the record.
Yeah, 1090 Don Mills Road, Unit 403.
Thank you. Sorry, did you say you have changes to make?
We have the changes that we already
Oh, okay.
request before to the staff. Number 2 is removing about the side yard setback for the deck.
So they're already reflected in the notice?
Yes. And if I want to compare with the previous application, we removed the number of story variances based on the staff request and the neighbors' concern. Also, we removed the vehicle access from the park view. So also, we changed the height of sidewall height from 8.69 to 7.99. So we are improving this application, and the request variances is the match with the approved variance in the area, and also is the improving the condition of the existing. For example, the front yard setback, the existing building is less setback in the front, and we are improving, but we have a slightly 0.4 meter variance for the front yard setback. And the side yard setback is approved. All the application in the area is approved. The side yard setback with the 1.5 meter. And also, as I mentioned, because of the tree condition, we wanted to have the entrance of this park view for the garage that we removed. After we got the report from the tree department, that we can maybe remove the tree on the side so we can have access for the garage from the side street, that we don't need the variance for the garage access anymore. So if there's any question, I'm more than happy to answer.
All right, thank you. Does anyone have any questions? The applicant? No? Doesn't look like it. We don't have anybody here on this item? No one in the audience? No? All right.
I'm sorry, I already approached the neighbor. I tried to talk with them. They couldn't talk English, and I was expecting the call, and they didn't call me too.
Okay. Well, we did get was that the one, let's see, the address? 329?
Yes. Yeah, the lady that sent the email, she couldn't talk English, and the son that was in email, I expected the call, but no one called me about talking because I wanted to explain it's not what they believed. So, yeah, I didn't have the opportunity.
Okay. Okay, well, we've seen their objections and their letter. Okay. We ready to take it into committee? Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Any comments? Oh, Mr. Merziari, thank you.
I can start it off, Madam Chair. Through you, I think it's a reasonable application. I think the applicant made really good improvements, almost aligned with the staff report from before. So I think the 5 variances to me is minor. It meets the 4 tests, and I am in support of this application. I don't have any concern.
Okay. Anyone else want to make a comment? No? Do you want to make a motion?
Sure. I forward a motion to approve this application, and I just include the forestry condition
One.
number 1. Yeah.
Okay. Right, there were no other conditions. Okay, seconder? Ms. Sankar? All in favor? That is carried. The application's been approved.
Thank you so much.
You're
Have a good night.
All right. 14. Oh. Oh, this is an application to 245 Glen Forest Road to legalize and maintain the existing rear deck. Variances for south side yard setback. On file, we have a survey, plans, and site photos. Pretty old? Oh.
Nope.
We're just commenting on the age of the survey. Although, actually, it's 1990. It's just an old plan. Not that old. Anyway, there's probably a older one. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have the applicant. Mr. Lowe?
Yes. Hi. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Members Committee. My name is David Chang. My address is 3575 14 Avenue, Markham. I'm the authorization for 245 Glen Forest Road. For this application, yes.
And your address, Mr. Chang?
Yeah, 3575 14 Avenue.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
go ahead.
All right, we don't have anybody here on this item. I think, does anyone need a presentation, or do you have any questions? Do we understand? Okay. All right, I think we'll just take this into committee for a discussion.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Side yard setback. Oh. You shrunk my plans and now I can't see anything. Does somebody want to make a motion or comment?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's a very straightforward application. That's quite minor. It's in the position of an existing deck that's been there for 36 years. I don't see any negative impacts on the broader community, and I think it meets the 4 tests. Therefore, I'll put forward a motion to approve this application.
All right, thank you. Second? Ms. Sankar? All in favor? That is carried. The application's been approved. Do we
Yep,
hear?
thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome. Okay, I think we go to 16 now. 15 was our Betty Ann Drive. So 16 is an 136 Cheltenham Avenue. This is an application for a new two-story dwelling with covered front porch and rear deck. Previous application on January 8th was refused. Variances are for east side yard setback to rear deck, architectural feature encroachment into front yard, eave projection into front yard landscaping percentage, east side yard setback, west side yard setback, height of all side main walls, and height of front and rear main walls. On file, we have the previous decision from January 8th, a survey, plans, and tree photos. Let's have our applicant. And there's nobody here on this in.
Hi, good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members. Ida Evangelista on behalf of the owners of 136 Cheltenham. Unfortunately, I will not be able to go forward today. This is truly a one-off. There was a miscommunication and the sign was not posted.
Oh, okay. So you're requesting a deferral?
So unfortunately, I have to defer.
Okay.
So if I can, perhaps maybe staff can add me to the next available hearing, it would be greatly appreciated.
Okay. Motion to defer? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. In light of the fact that the public sign posting was not completed, I will put forward a motion to defer this application.
Thank you. And seconder, Mr. Marziari. All in favor? That is granted. All right, the application's been deferred, Ms. Evangelista.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a great day.
You're welcome. You too. Okay, item 17. 1216 York Mills Road. It's another apartment building. Interior alterations to convert existing ground floor locker room into one two-bedroom suite, to convert existing office and maintenance room into one new locker room and new office. I think I will get to that in a sec. The variances are for amenity space and indoor amenity space. On file, we have a survey, plans, and site photos. I believe that the amenity space is 4 square meters per unit, and I think that because they're creating a new unit, they need an additional 4 square meters of amenity space. And the same with the indoor. It's a very odd way of writing it, but whatever, it is what it is. Let's have the applicant.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, good afternoon, committee. My name is Scott Pomeroy from Pomeroy Architecture. I'm at 713 Gerrard Street East in Toronto, and I'm the applicant and architect for the project.
All right, thank you. So did you just hear me clarify the application? Is the requirement
Yes.
4 square meters per unit? And there's no additional amenity? Because the way it's
Yeah,
written, it's a bit
I
odd. the way
believe
it's
it is for each unit you require 4 square
Yeah.
meters, and of that, 2 meters are to be indoor.
And the bottom line
So-
is you're not providing any additional amenity space for this new unit that's being created.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
we don't have any, there's no other space in this building.
Okay, I don't think we need any more than that, and there's nobody here on the application, so we'll just take it into committee. All right.
Madam Chair, thank you.
Ms. Fine?
I think that this is a pretty straightforward application, and I find that it meets the 4 tests set out in the Planning Act, and I'm agreeable with it and support the application.
Are you making a motion?
I can make a motion.
Go
unless
ahead.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve this application. It's pretty straightforward, and there are no objections, and creates more housing, so.
Great. Okay, thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bartolo? All in favor? That is carried. The application's been approved.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah. All right, 18, 237 Parkholme Avenue. This is to construct a new two-story dwelling with an integral garage. Variances are for lot coverage, east and west side yard setbacks, building length, and eaves encroachment. On file, we have a survey, plans, the applicant's photographs, presentation material, 5 letters of support, a letter of concern from 235 Parkholme, and a late community planning staff report. In-person applicant. Thank you. Let me just get to the right page. Do we have anybody on this one? Oh, we have the concerned neighbor. Okay. Welcome.
Sure.
Let's
Good
start
afternoon,
with
Madam
your
Chair.
name and address.
Sure. Meher Manius, number 1 Teakwood Grove, Toronto, M3B 2H9. I'm the agent for the owner, and the owner, Chris Assure, is also present with us today.
All right, thank you. And just before we begin, do you have any changes to make to the application today?
There are no changes, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
All right, so we have a neighbor who has issued a letter of concern, and I believe they are online. So if you could maybe give us a brief presentation. Oh, you're in person. Sorry, great. Thank you.
Sure. I'll keep it brief, Madam Chair. It's a typical application. We've done quite a few houses on Parkholme ourselves. The proposal in front of you is for a new 2-story dwelling with an integral garage to replace the existing detached dwelling. We are requesting 5 variances under the bylaw. I'll just give you a quick synopsis of the variances. One is the coverage at 32.97 versus 30%. This is in keeping with approvals in the neighborhood. We just did one a couple of years ago, 4 doors or 5 doors down, and we also submitted some comparables in front of you. You have a whole about 5 pages of comparables there. Same thing with the side yard setbacks. We're requesting for 1.22 and 1.52. And just to bring to your attention, that's just for the front portion of the dwelling. The back portion of the dwelling exceeds the required setback at 1.83 and 2.13 on the other side. Building length, so I'm just going to refer to the site plan that staff were kind enough to put up. You'll see there's a small sliver that says 1-story portion at the top left-hand corner. That's the reason for the variance. The actual length of the house complies at 16.99. The variance is due to that 1-story projection at the back not being set back 3 meters from the side yard setback. We're proposing a 2.74 meter setback. The requirements for the 1-story projection is it can't be more than half the width of the house. It can project up to 2 meters further out, and it requires to be 3 meters from the side yard setback and a 5 meter height. We comply, and we're well within the requirements. The only exception is that 3 meter setback. We're proposing 2.74, hence it's not exempt anymore. It gets tagged onto the building length of the building. The actual depth of the building, we're well below the 19 meter requirement. The last variance being the eaves of the house, we're proposing, it's triggered by the side yard setback. Reading it, it looks like have a huge overhang. The overhang is only 15 inches. But the way the bylaw is written is it's measured from the required setback, not from the actual wall itself. And oddly enough, the zoning examiner didn't even pick it up as a variance. So, but we, just to be on the safe side, we didn't want to deal with an issue down the road with the building permit. As you mentioned, Madam Chair, I think there's 6 letters of support. We do have also the immediate west neighbor. The staff report, we're in agreement with it, and we're happy for the condition to be tagged along. We have no intention of varying from the footprint as in front of you. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions? Anyone? No? Okay. Let's hear from the resident.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
I'm Timothy Ahong, 235 Parkholme Avenue, the neighbor directly east of the subject property. I'm here today just to express concerns about one of the variances. I'd just like to clarify that I do support the project and all of the variances, but I would like to propose a condition be added to one of the variances. Yes, if you just scroll down a little bit here. The variance in question is the east side yard setback, which is the boundary between my property and 237. As it's stated in the proposal, there is no condition or limit on the east side yard variance. So from my understanding, it would be permitted to build a structure along its entire length at 1.22 meters. What I am proposing is to apply a condition to the depth of that variance. So if you just scroll down to the last page, I have a little diagram here. Yeah, so the blue, oh, sorry. Yeah, this page, yeah. The blue section here is where I'm saying that I support the east side lot variance. That is in line with the existing structure and my house, 235 Park Home. I also believe that that's pretty critical to the design because I think that's where they intend to put the garage. But the restriction that I am proposing is limiting the east side lot variance to that blue region, which would be roughly the first 9.5 meters. I attempted to measure I looked at the survey as well, and I couldn't find the exact measurement of the existing property. The spirit of what I'm proposing is for it to be in line with the existing property, which is about 9.5 meters, but I couldn't get an exact measurement. If you just scroll back up to the one page up. Yes, yeah, here. The reason why I'm requesting this condition is just because you'll see on the left-hand side, this is the backyard of 235 Park Home. The area where we kind of spend most of our time, kind of this dining area, ground level, I feel like will be overshadowed by a large two-story structure, kind of close to the lot line. And to a degree, that's not, that's unavoidable. I think there will be a big structure there. That's okay. But I would like to mitigate the impact with what I believe is a reasonable compromise of enforcing the 1.8 setback after the existing structure. If you just scroll to the last page, I'll just make one more point here before I conclude. The impact on the design actually already has kind of enforces the 1.8, just actually past that, 1.83, which we appreciate. After the first 11 meters, so the change is kind of that red box. You'll see a little red box on the image there, which would impact the design. In that region there. And that is all. I'd just like to clarify. I do support the project and the other variances.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the resident? No? All right. Let's have the applicant back to address your comment.
So just the first point that Tim made was the fact that there's the setback can be taken for the full depth of the building. And as I mentioned, staff had requested a condition that we be tied to site plan. And with that condition, which we're more than happy for committee to, if they see it fit to approve the application, for it to be added that we can't be building past what we're proposing in front of you. It is unfortunate that the neighbor next door is on that side of the house is a one-story, but even the existing house on his side, it's actually a two-story as well. So it doesn't matter what we actually build, even if we're 1.8 from front to back, there is going to be impact just for the fact that we're dealing with a 1950s like bungalow next to a new two-story dwelling. So the impact is there irrespective of the setback but that's intentionally why we jogged in to exceed the compliance for the back portion of the dwelling. This is a neighborhood that's being gentrified. There's a lot of development happening. I'm not saying the neighbor is going to be building in the next year or two, but there are chances are eventually most of these houses will end up becoming developed. Cutting it back by 5.5 feet does have an impact on the layout of the house, especially on the main floor. Like, I know the committee doesn't get into floor plans and what have you, but that's the mudroom area where it's going to be used primarily to enter from the garage and from the side yard. Most of the mudroom would be lost with that revision. There is I've read through the neighbor's letter, which is well put together, and I have to say he's been great to deal with. For the last couple of weeks, we've been chatting a couple of times. There is an 11-foot setback between the proposed building at the variance and his amenity space, and we had offered to add landscape screening like on his side, because this is going to be the pathway for my client, in order to mitigate the expansion of the wall. I think that's the best way to soften the impact of having a 2-story wall, which is already there. The bylaw does allow, if my client had elected to do a renovation, the bylaw allows you to build in line with the existing, a 2-story house, which have been 4 feet all the way through. But that's not the intent here. This is something we've done in numerous applications in this neighborhood. We always try to keep the variance to the bare minimum at the front of the house, and we always try to exceed at the back portion of the dwelling. And even from a height perspective, we kept the wall height at just about 6.2 meter versus the allowable 7.5 meter. That was also intentional to reduce the massing. And as committee might know, like most of the variances in front of you is for height and wall height. We're actually way lower by over a meter in wall height compared to what's allowed.
Thank you. Any questions? No? All right. We'll take it into committee. Thank you. All right. Comments, questions, or thoughts? Mr. Bartolo?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I understand the neighbors' arguments, and I appreciate the professionalism. They're well laid out. I think that there is a bit of a happy middle ground here in making it be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan to prevent that wall from ever going back any farther, without altering the existing design, understanding that it's maybe about 2 or so meters longer than what the neighbor would prefer, but in line with the staff report, and I think a good compromise between the two to prevent any further expansion and mitigate that. Apart from that, I think it's a relatively straightforward application in all other aspects.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I think the applicant has tried his best to be sensitive to the neighbor and taken a lot of that into account. The situation and stepping the house back like that is.
Want to make it a motion?
Yeah, go ahead.
So do you want me to make it? Oh, sure. Okay, so I forward a motion to approve this application subject to condition by planning staff. So side yard setback to be developed substantially with the site plan attached to the report.
Yep. Okay. And there's no forestry on that one? Nope. All right. Seconder, Ms. Klein, all in favor? That is carried. The application's been approved. Thank you. All right, that was 18.
Madam Chair?
Yes, you're
I
going to
do
leave
have to
now.
excuse
Yep.
myself.
Ms. Klein is now departing the meeting. Okay, item 19, 125 Lord Seaton Road. This is an application for a new 2-story dwelling with a rear 2nd-story balcony. Variances are for height of building, height of side exterior main walls, rear yard setback, area of 2nd-story platform. On file, we have a survey, plans, planning rationale, rendering, presentation, arborist report, 2 letters of objection from 181 Fenn Avenue. Okay, let's have our applicant.
Hello, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Perfect. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, committee members. It's Peter Giordano, David Small Designs, and we're at 1405 Cornwall Road, Unit 4 in Oakville, and we're the project designers and the authorized agents.
Okay. And before we begin, do you have any changes to make to the application today?
No changes.
Okay. All right, because we have, do we have these, the people online, the neighbors, or no? No, we just have a letter of objection. Have you seen the letter of objection?
Madam Chair, yes, we have.
Okay.
And they're both from the same address.
Yes, I saw that. So, all right, do we want to, anyone want a presentation on this? No? All right.
Just a quick question, Madam Chair, just around, just around item, variance number 4, if he could just sort of like, talk to that just a little. That's the only question.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, through you, Madam Chair. Variance item number 4 is the maximum area of the second story platform, or effectively the balcony. It's a modest L-shaped balcony. It only projects about 4 feet from the primary bedroom sliding door, which is the access point to the balcony. It's not as long as the flat roof is, so we've kept the balcony size back, but it is designed as a narrow private space that it's intended for quiet use. It's a morning coffee. It's not for gathering. To address privacy, we had incorporated a 1.8 meter high opaque frosted glass screen on the left side of that balcony, further limiting the overlook. And you know, it's really our client is a gentleman who's a senior, and he's as concerned about privacy as the neighbors are. But the variance item number 3 that 181 Fern Avenue had concerns with really doesn't impact the balcony.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions for the applicant? No?
Just the privacy screen is on west or east? On the longer side of the balcony, I understand, but
I'm not sure he heard that.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, it's on the, if you're looking at the front of the house as looking towards the property, it's on the left side of the balcony at the back. If you're looking at it from the rear, it would be the right side of the balcony. It's the longer portion of the balcony. You can see it clearer if you wanted to look at slide number 6 from my presentation.
well, I can see that. I just want to
Yeah.
understand if it's on the west or east, which side of. But I can see the note there.
It's on the west side.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Should we take this into committee then? All right. Anyone want to comment, make a motion? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Ms. Sankar, I was zoning out on the, I was looking, I went back to the location map and then I
No,
just,
no worries.
I apologize.
No worries. So I, you know, just looking at this application, I do believe that there's a lot of sensitivity that went into sort of how they've been designing and in consideration of everyone around them. I do know that there were a couple of letters of objection, but I see that they tried to lessen impacts, for example, that privacy barrier that, you know, could impact on the balcony, etc. I don't believe that one of the objections was around sort of the rear yard setback, but I do feel that it's manageable and it's minor at this time. And so overall, I think it seems okay. And if everyone doesn't have a problem with it, I can move to make a motion.
I
That's
believe you
okay.
have the floor. Go ahead.
All right, so I think it does indeed meet the 4 tests based on what I've just said, and I'll move to approve this application as is. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconder.
I second that. Just a friendly amendment to include the privacy screen for the upper balcony on the west side up to 1.8 meters from the level of the balcony.
We could do that, or we can make it substantially in accordance with the elevation.
That is also a good idea. So
Right. Okay, I accept that amendment, Madam Chair, what you said, substantially in accordance with the elevation.
Maybe should just say the elevations, because it's shown on the side elevation. You could see the privacy screen, I think, but we could just put it on, make it
Yeah.
subject to the elevations, and we're good.
I think it's shown on the
We don't really need the front,
side, the right and left side elevations on both sides.
right and left side.
It's actually more on the left side because we see the whole screen on the left side.
So it's A7.
Left side elevation,
and
A8.
A8.
Yeah.
The privacy
Yes.
screen, just the privacy screen.
They've shown it on the actual plan. All right, thank you, Ms. Sankar.
Yeah.
Seconder,
I accept.
Mr. Marziari, thank you. All in favor? That is Mr. Marziari, you're in favor? No, sorry, just checking. I know, but you didn't have your hand up, so I have to clarify. Okay, thank you very much. All right, 20, 143 Northwood Drive, to construct a one-story addition at the rear of the dwelling. The variances are for building length and building depth. Excuse me. On file, we have a survey, plans, photos, and a community planning report. Okay, 20, we have our applicant, please.
Sylvia Edelenboss from Just Drafting. I'm at 255 Glen Lake Avenue. I'm here representing the owner at 143 Northwood Drive.
Thank you. I don't believe we have anybody here on this. Does anybody want a presentation? No, we don't need a presentation. Unless there's something you want to point out to us, we'll just take it into committee.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
All right, thank you. Okay. Ms. Sankar.
Yeah, through you, Madam Chair, I do believe the applicant said it best. I think it is a straightforward application. I don't have any concerns. There's no one here to speak to this. Staff has reviewed, and they only have one condition that seems quite, minor around the setbacks of the rear one-story sunroom addition to be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan drawing. So if no one has any other comments or concerns, I can put forward a motion.
Yes, please.
Yeah, to approve that application and make it subject to the April 24th staff report, which I've just repeated. Thank you.
Very much. Seconder, Mr. Marziari, all in favor? That has carried. Thank you. The application's been approved. All right. Last but not least, item 21, 192 Old Forest Hill Road. This is to construct a new two-story detached dwelling with a rear deck. Variances are for rear deck projection from the rear wall and building length. On file, we have a revised requested variances, survey plans, revised plans, April 22nd presentation, arborist report, community planning report, one letter of support from 190 Old Forest Hill Road, and a late letter of opposition from 52 Wembley Road. All right. Let's have our applicant.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. This is Joel Tanner with Simple Design Studio on the team's behalf today.
All right, thank you. And your address?
Our address here is 15 Colburn Street, Hamilton, Ontario, L8R2G2.
Thank you very much. Any changes to make to the application?
No changes. Just want to quickly note that in addition to the letter of opposition, there was a secondary letter sent in from that same neighbor and should be a letter of support. We are just agreeing to some vegetation plantings in the rear yard for some additional privacy for both parties.
All right. Do we have that letter?
We have the neighbors.
The new letter? We had a letter of, was it a, did we not have a letter of opposition from 52 Wembley, but the applicant just indicated there's a follow-up letter.
Yeah, it was an email.
Okay,
It was uploaded.
okay.
In your package, there's a zoning review with a red line revision.
Yep,
It's not making any changes?
no. Did we note some changes required? I've not been satisfied. Okay, yep. Oh, okay. Let's check with the applicant. Did you see the zoning review?
The original zoning review, like what we're looking at right now on the screen.
This one, it doesn't have a date on it.
Yeah, so this was a modification that we were doing to, we were working in collaboration with the neighbor on the east side of the property in order to provide a reduction. And so the new plans that were uploaded satisfy this modification of the 18.59 reduced to 17.58.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
the clarification. So yes, that needs to be identified in the public notice that you're changing that from variance number 2 from 18.59. It doesn't just happen automatically. You have to state it as part of the application. So it's changing from 18.59 to 17.58.
That's correct. Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we have those changes, and we do have neighbors. I believe Mr. Kirschenblatt had given his support for the application, but he's online. Okay, I don't know if he wishes to speak or if he's just listening in. Do you want to check?
Madam Chair, Stephen
Yes.
Kirschenblatt.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, hi, good afternoon. Yeah, I just want to speak to the fact that we, as neighbors at 190 Old Forest Hill Road, so I'm an architect, I've been before you for many, many times, and the neighbor has been gracious to meet with us and to reduce the building length down to the 17.58, so we're happy to hear that. And one other change that we requested was the variance to deck, the rear yard projection to 6.79. My experience with building and zoning, I'm concerned about the way that variance is written. And I understand, and I spoke to the zoning examiner, it is measured from the recessed rear wall, not the building length. And so that's how the 6.9 got created. The plans that were submitted, the revised drawings, are clear in that the building depth, the deck length beyond the permitted building length is 3.59. So I've requested that the committee add a condition to that variance number 1, 2 conditions, because we also had a discussion with the neighbor, and it's also reflected, I think, in what the rear yard neighbor on Wembley talked to. So when you allow a rear deck projection, it also automatically allows that rear deck to be covered. And the roof structure above this rear deck projection is quite substantial. It's not a light canopy, it's not a light trellis, it's a significant roofing. So we've asked the applicant to pull back that roof on the east side. The neighbor has agreed to do that, and I think it's reflected in the revised drawings. But I just don't like the wording, and I would like you to consider adding a condition of approval that limits the permitted, when you agree to the variance 1, that it also says, as a condition of variance 1, a roof or canopy above a permitted projection or rear above a rear deck must have a setback of 7 meters to the east lot line. So this is what the drawings represent, because it's uncovered part of that rear deck projection beside us. So it's reduced the impact of that large roof that covers the rear patio. So if that's a good drawing, the one that has the patio, no, I think there's an earlier one that said lower patio, upper patio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
lower,
that drawing.
lower uncovered patio.
So the lower uncovered is good. That's what we asked them for the amendment. They agreed, and the applicant has agreed to do it. And we're okay with the center portion to be covered. But I would also like you to make a condition of approval that, and I wrote it this way. You can decide. As a condition of approval in number 1 to the bylaw, it applies as per plans submitted, which would be what you see on that screen. But in no case will any deck project more than 3.59 meters beyond the permitted building length as approved. Okay, so you're approving a building length. The decks can extend 3.59. That's in accordance with the applicant's drawings. But the variance is giving them permission to go 6.79. And another interpretation could be 6.9 anywhere along the rear wall, not just from the recessed portion. So it's like an unusual rear wall where this deck projection, has to follow the rear wall.
So if we were to tie development substantially in accordance with the site plan, the revised site plan that shows these different elements, I think that would cover your concern.
It sort of does, but I'm always concerned about the tie-in between building permit and committee of adjustment approved plans, and whether there really is that scrutiny between the building department issuing a permit, checking back on the drawings, submitted. So I just don't like the blanket wording of variance 1, where 6.9 is permitted anywhere along any portion of the rear wall. It really only applies in the center portion of the rear wall. So I just wanted a clarification that really in writing was clear that no portion of a platform can project any more than 3.59 beyond approved building length, which is the projected rear walls, the main rear walls, not the recess in the center.
All right, we will consider that.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, are you finished, Mr. Kirschenblatt?
Unless anybody has any questions of me, I think you understand where I'm getting.
Yep, we understand. We've
Yeah,
got it,
thanks.
thank you. Let's hear from another person, 2 more. Fern.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Fern Reach. I am the owner of 52 Wembley Road. The neighbors and I have come to an agreement. Basically, the email lays out our agreement. So assuming that holds water, I'm okay. I would support their building.
Okay, that memo or email is between you and the owner, so the committee can't impose a condition on that, but that's an agreement between the 2 private owners.
I see. Yeah, I have a strong aversion to the roof over their patio. And I'm gonna have to trust that, I didn't know that. I thought it was enforceable, or it would go.
Yeah,
This is
no.
all new, very new to me. I assume that would be, it is on the drawing. Does that not,
I'm talking about the planting. Is that what you're talking about?
right, but they put planting on the drawing.
Oh. Oh, I see that. But it's not, I don't believe it's enforceable by the city.
Uh-huh.
But we have the option of putting a condition on the, we could recommend that the property be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan. So it should reflect the elements, the building should reflect the elements of the site plan. And I'm not sure what your concern is with the canopy over the patio, but
Well, it's a very, very, Mr. Kirschenblatt referred to it. It bothered him so much that he had them move it.
Right.
I don't know what it is, 20, 25 feet, but it's a very heavy roof with yet another walkout above it. I found that offensive, and they were going to build cedars that start at 10 feet and hopefully obstruct the view a little bit, because I have my privacy concerns.
Okay.
I went over to my next door neighbor's home, and they have cedars that are, I don't know, 18, 20, 25 feet high, and it will not be a problem for them. And I was hoping to come up with the same solution to my aversion of this big, huge roof that is extended beyond where it should extend, and I believe higher than it's supposed to be. In the spirit of not wanting to ruin their plan, I was trying to be compromising, but I would like it to be a requirement of me not contesting the variances.
Well, as I just said, we can't ensure that as a condition of the committee. A private agreement between two owners, we are not able to enforce that or impose
Okay.
that as a condition, unfortunately.
So what did you say you can do?
We could tie the development to be in accordance with the approved site plan. So in other words, the plan that is shown on their, I guess it's the revised plan, the revised site plan that they submitted, that they would have to develop the property substantially in accordance with that plan. So despite granting the variances, if we were to grant these variances, they still would have to comply with this site plan.
And could you mention the vegetation as well?
No, that's what I said we can't do.
Uh-huh.
But it appears that the applicant has indicated that you have an arrangement, so.
I think, I didn't understand that, but I don't want to contest it. I'm going to trust that they will follow up
Okay.
as per our agreement. I don't know. Are there any other measures I can take?
Not really, that I'm aware of.
And if they sell the house and there's a new owner?
There's no obligation. It would be up to the new owner.
Right.
The only
Well-
thing we can control is the building location
Right.
on the property.
I understand. Okay. Well,
Okay?
they are a lovely couple, and I don't want to, I'm going to trust that they'll do what they said they'll do.
Okay, thank you. All right, I believe we have one other speaker.
Dan Nayut.
That's me. I'm the applicant.
Oh, Mr. Nayot?
Yes, how are you?
Oh, okay. I'm fine, thank you. All right. Sorry, the day is getting long and not reading everything I should be, I guess, neighbor support. All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to the agent. I don't know if he wants to mention anything else.
Nothing further at this moment. Thank you so much.
And you don't have a problem with us tying this to the site plan?
No, not one bit. I think we had some really constructive discussions with all the neighbors in order to accommodate everybody's concerns. And I think we have a very strong proposal in front of you today, along with full support from planning staff, and look forward to building a beautiful home for an amazing family.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's take this into committee. All three of us. There's only three of us.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. On balance, I think that I actually commend the applicant and the owner for their outreach that they've done. It seems like they've come to reasonable conclusions with their neighbor and done some positive engagement there. So this is not a adversarial situation that we have ourselves in. Recognizing the concerns of the neighbor with regards to the canopy over the deck and the deck projection, I think we can achieve some sort of compromise that, where it's developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and elevations, and that achieves essentially a locking of that elevation and that site plan, so it can't go beyond the limits which are noted there. So, I mean, I'll leave it up to the two of you to make your comments, but I think we're on the same page.
Do we want to include I mean, we've done this before where we approve a variance and, Mr. Kirschenblatt's comment about the projection, the 6.79 is from the indentation, so the 3.59 beyond the building length, that
I think it's okay.
you want to, can we include that?
I think we can. I don't think it's.
Yeah, okay.
That's what's on paper. That's what they want. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any issues?
Do you want to put that in words?
I mean, if you want to make a motion,
Sure. I just want to get the language correct.
Yeah.
If we can, and the dimensions correct, because those are not in the actual public notice.
No, he said 3.5 meters, 3.59 meters beyond the building length. So if
Can we get the applicant back just to confirm those dimensions?
Sure.
We don't mess them up?
Hi there, committee.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, are you okay with us making that a condition? The, regarding variance 1, the 6.79, as you know, projects from the indentation of the building, so
Yep.
the neighbor wants to limit it to 3.59 beyond the building length. You're okay with that?
Yeah, I think that terminology is fine. The 6.79 relates to the portion of
Yep.
deck that's above 1.2 meters above grade, but that additional line item also satisfies the requirement, so it shouldn't be a problem on our end.
Okay. Thank you. Back in committee.
Now, there's that, just one more question, that
Yeah.
those dimensions apply to both the deck and the canopy?
I would say so.
Because then I just don't want any confusion.
I
when the
know.
building inspector comes out later, because there's some planters that are not fully dimensioned on the drawings I have, and if that gets considered part of the patio.
So,
Madam Chair,
yes.
just a word of caution, I'll leave it up to you, but be careful if you're adding a condition suggested and you're being very specific with the numbers that I don't know myself, that you're not infringing on something that would otherwise be permitted. That's my only fear.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? If you could tie it to a plan, that's fantastic, because then the zoning examiner will ensure everything is okay without violating any additional zoning issues. If you start to get very specific about dimensions, I don't know, because I'm not a zoning examiner, I don't know if you're limiting them for something they would otherwise be permitted to do, which you don't have the power to do.
Yeah, I don't think if you limited the 3.59 beyond the building length, if the patio was off by a little bit, it's not really gonna
No, I don't think so.
affect
I think
anything materially.
what the Deputy Secretary Treasurer is saying is that we shouldn't impose restrictions that are less than what's permitted. We can't restrict somebody under the bylaws.
We're not restricting, we are clarifying
But
that,
if you do it develop substantially in accordance with the elevations and plans, you don't run into that risk. They have to build what's on paper.
okay. Yeah, I understand where they're coming from. I would probably be asking for something similar if I were the neighbor as well. But if we think we're covered with the site plan and elevations substantially in accordance, I'm okay with that.
let's do that, yeah.
Mr. Marziari, as our resident architect today.
Yeah, I think site plan and elevations would cover that.
Okay. Yeah, the ones April 22nd, I believe, are
I
the
think it's
revised plans.
received on April 22nd, 20.
Received, do they have a,
2026. Yeah.
looking for it?
I think there's a receive date with the city's stamp. 28. Oh, sorry. Yes.
I'm looking.
It's April 27th revision. So
Where do you see 27?
in the drawing submission from the title block on the right-hand side, there's four revisions.
Oh, is that on the
Oh,
site
okay.
plan?
Yeah.
Where are you? Oh, so that's a more recent one than the one we had in the package.
Yeah, we don't have that in the package.
Okay,
And
I'm
it's-
out of date. All right,
So that's the one we want.
yeah. That's. I know, yeah. Is that one just a site plan or are there elevations as well? Full package, okay. So,
Received April 28th and is dated, is the date of the actual drawing. April 28th.
no, that's rare.
Okay, I think we got it.
Yeah, April 28th. Yeah.
April 28th.
And I think applicant made an amendment to variance number 2.
Yes.
Yes. So it's the application as amended.
Correct, but is that amendment reflected on the new drawings?
Yes,
Yes?
yes.
Okay, good. All right, then through you, Madam Chair, I will put forward a motion to approve this application, subject to the following conditions: that it be developed substantially in accordance with the site plan and elevations dated April 28th, and that variance number, apologize.
2?
2,
They amended it, so,
yeah, and that variance number 2 be modified as amended
17.58.
to 17.58 meters.
yeah.
And I second that.
Thank you. Good thing. All in favor? That is carried. Mr. Bartolo, or Mr.
I
Marziari?
second. Yeah.
All in favor was yes, that was carried. The application as amended has been approved. All right, could we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion
Mr.
to adjourn.
Marziari? Thank you. Seconded by Mr. Bartolo. All in favor at 4:53 PM. Thank you to staff. Thank you, fellow committee members.